Let me begin with the issue of what has happened during the last 2 decades. Several reforms and development of higher education has taken place. Some of these reforms relate to the academic aspects, as I said, the academic aspects, and these academic aspects are a very detailed one. During the last 2 decades, the courseware has been made very detailed one, and different duration program have been launched in the world. What is this different duration program? If you find it, some of the programs are also for 1 day. If you go to universities in the developed part of the world like UK, USA, mostly USA, or for that matter Australia and other countries, they have during last 1 decade or so made several programs, and program duration ranges from 1 day to 5 years. Even one program is offered for developing skills and aspects for 1 day, and sometimes programs are week, 1 month, and year, or 2 years and 3 years and 5 years. So the flexibility part has been added to the structure of programming in education, the structure of delivery of education. That has been one of the very important development. This has been possible because the contents of the courses with application orientation has been also added, which are application is directly related to employment and real life situations. This has been another aspect of the change which you are finding, which is being given. And third and very important aspect which you are finding during the last 2 decades, and particularly 1 decade, the industry, university and public-private partnership for content development has become very important. Content development is not the exclusive domain of the academics alone. There was earlier only the academics developed the content. Of course, right now also academics develop the content, but the interaction about the requirement of change and reform in the content comes through industry-university interaction and also public-private partnership. Earlier it was only public sector. You find that UK had almost all public sector institutions of higher education except one university which was a private university. Most of the universities were public university. Similarly, in many parts of the world, Australia and other, you've had only a public university, and in India also public university. Public-private partners has become recent phenomena, and of course US had this kind of relationship of public-private partnership, but in other countries it was not there. So you find this has been another change, not only in the terms of providing the education, but in terms of content development. That has been a major change, and I thought I'll share with you. That's the aspect. Next aspect which you are finding is development of methodology and mechanism of transaction of courses. This has been developed very effectively. Every course has been detailed out very well, how the course has been transacted, what are likely to be assignment on the particular course, and all these have been very well documented. When this matter has been documented, what you find, it has become a product. Earlier education was a kind of service which one has to give. When he goes to the classroom, he delivers the lecture, then comes back and some question answer takes place. But once you document each and every detail aspect of it, then it becomes a product, and product, if once it is ready, then it can be marketed outside. Once it was possible to put education service into product form, then you find that people started delivering this knowledge to other countries, to host countries, and to where they can send the full courseware, and the courseware has to be transacted in the manner it has been suggested, and then evaluation is being conducted. That's why you find some of the programs of international universities are running in India. London School of Economics has a program here. Some of the US universities have a program here, because on academic front, the teachers have been able to package the knowledge and made it available for delivery elsewhere also. Development methodology of evaluation is another area where you find an academic front. Earlier we had an evaluation which is being conducted by the university, which is done either centrally or individual teachers, etc. But if the program is being given by the other universities from other country to other B country, you will find evaluation has to be done. Of course, evaluation is being done on the pattern and guidelines suggested by the education providing country, but the quality assurance is being done by the country which is providing the education. That's why what you find, they have developed the methods of evaluation in such a manner that evaluation can be conducted internationally. That has been one of the major change. That's why you find several programs have been being implemented in India, which is a testing program. What you find, JRE, GMAT, or many other programs, the evaluation is internationally done because systems of evaluation have been evolved in that manner. And once you make the education international oriented, then question arises, how about the credit transfer? They have divided the course structure in such a manner that particular course is completed by a person, then one is given the credit. So semester system, evaluation includes the semester system. With the semester, credit is being given. When credit is completed, one can have the credit. Once this flexibility is introduced in the system, then people move on to the accumulating credit from one course to another course or from one country to another country. So what you find, flexibility in terms of credit system has been introduced, and then not within the university one can move from one course to another, accumulate the credit and get the degree, but also one can move from one university to another university, and one can move one university in one country to another university in another country, that kind of. So that's why you find Europe has recently done this, that the student can carry their credit and they can move on to one country to another country. That has been a major change you find it. Another and very clear things which has brought about this change was the quality assurance. Imparting the knowledge, the process step by step, I already told you, evaluation has been already done. Development of e-university and the virtual university. We are having a virtual kind of dialogue with you, discussion. You are sitting there, we are here. In course of time, we will have question answer, and there will be a virtual way of learning and discussing the issues. So that system also developed. So transfer of knowledge from one country to another country became easy, and internet and broadband is facilitating this, or the EduSat kind of network might facilitate from one city to another city or country as a whole. That kind of development has taken place in the world. So, now, once you are moving from one country to another country, then it is also necessary to assure the quality. Otherwise, people will not respect it. So, certain centers have been developed, and what we call international quality assurance and higher education system has been developed, which are assessing the quality of education being provided by the host country. Earlier, Global Alliance for Translation Education was doing it, was networking the national accreditation agencies, and then you find international quality assurance in higher education have. They set the general standards. Respective country does the kind of quality assurance, but they are on the basis of an international standard. So credit or the degree awarded by one university can be accepted by another university internationally. That's the kind of thing which they are discussing as it's being happening. Although it's fully not happening, that's why there are issues of accepting the degree from one country to another still arises. But in course of time, this instrument enables things to happen in a much more effective manner when the international level quality assurance system is in place. Also, using the national authority to check the quality of education, that is also being conducted. USA is particularly doing it by through it. If the US students are studying in India, they send the team here to university which are giving education to US citizens, and they want to assure the quality. We have not yet developed the system, although about 100,000 students of India are studying in USA. We are not developed a system where we are going assessing the quality of institutions where they are studying. Most of the time they are good institutions, but some of the time you also find the institutions are not up to the mark, and that is why the issue comes up. The next and very important is the development which has taken place in the world is the National Qualifications Framework, which is a very important instrument I would like to share with you, which might change overall completely the educational processes in the world in course of time. What this meaning of the National Qualification Framework is? National Qualification Framework deal with the certain level descriptors and learning outcomes. So any person has learned from any place, either university, college or schools, etc. Level descriptions at various levels are being at a primary level, secondary level, higher education level, and are going up to PhD level. And the assessment is done on the basis of outcome of learning. After one has gone through the process of learning, whether in the school, for the school level education, at the higher education, and whether they are able to perform certain function which they call outcome of learning. On this basis, the persons are evaluated, and if they are found to be good, then that qualification become useful for further learning as well as for the job situation. This really takes the education wider, in the sense that you can learn at your home and then still appear for the testing, and testing would prove whether you acquired certain abilities which are required for outcome of learning and at what level that certification would be. You can learn in the institutions, you can learn with the master person in any trade and skills, etc., and you are qualified, you are tested and you are qualified and you are given degree. So it frees the education from the institutions only. Institutions would continue to be important, but it liberates the education from institutional framework, and it also encompasses various forms of learning, either at home or with the job situation or the workplace or the master craftsman or the thing, and one can appear for the test and one become qualified, and once they qualified they can go for further studies or they can go for job. That kind of change is not yet there. Only 2 or 3 countries are trying to do this. Australia, UK, they are working on this subject. Even the South Africa is working on this subject. India has started, but we are yet to come finalize on this aspect. So these are the changes or recent development which are taking place in the world. Now another issue development has taken place in the world, that the trend is like the expanding the higher education system. We have not yet reached the level of 10 or 11%, which we visualize that 10 plan we should be able to reach the 10, 11% up to 10%. We are still 8% of the eligible age group population. But many countries have surpassed this target. UK surpassed the target for 2000. They had the fixed the target of 2000 up to 50%, but they completed the target much before. US has also surpassed the target from 60 to 80%. Now 86% of the people in eligible age group are going higher. So larger number of population is going for higher education, because if we are participating in knowledge society, then this participation can only be effective when larger number of eligible age group population go for higher education and our workforce becomes with the higher education level. Then only you are able to effectively participate in the knowledge society. That's another issue which I thought I'll share with you. This is a new expansion. Earlier there was a philosophy restricting the higher education. In India also many times people say restrict the higher education. We are not able to get the job. It's not the question of it's the educated person generates his own job, or it's able to participate in larger development process. So whole world is going toward expansion of higher education. If you want to participate in knowledge society, so this is a recent change in philosophy or approach that not only restrict but it expand the higher education. That's why you find USA is investing on higher education, UK has started investing on higher education. Every country is trying to invest in higher education. Again, there was a time when they went for a slogan restricting higher education. Now it's a time for expanding higher education, because if knowledge society, people have to participate, larger number of population has to be highly educated person in this complex system of production, distribution and development, which necessitate the high level of education. That's why the change has come. That is a recent change in this. Next one, international cooperation is also becoming very important. That's why you find mutual recognition of degrees and professional qualifications are becoming very important. UNESCO has to come forward. I was having discussion with the people in UNESCO. I said UNESCO can only play a major role in terms of mutual recognition of degrees and professional qualifications, so that people can migrate to other countries or provide services to other countries, and that is another trend. So quality of education has to be of international standard, and international cooperation has to take place with regard to recognition of degrees and professional qualification. That's the change which is being in place, has not been effected as yet, but there are trajectory has been laid down. People are working on this area. I hope things would improve in course of time. Now another phenomena which has come, and I would like to share with this, is a recent trend. Among the recent trend, there are several things. That earlier the public sector was only providing education. Other sectors were participating in education as a philanthropist, were participating in education, and they still participate in many parts of the world, India, USA, UK, every places. But a new phenomena has come where the philanthropists used to contribute to the development of the education, and it was a kind of donation, and the fees charged from the student was very minimum. But recent trend has been in India also, in many other countries, the full cost fees charging institution. In Philippines, almost 80% of the cost of education is borne by the student. In many other countries, cost bond is quite substantial. In USA, UK, and many other places, it's 20 to 25% the cost is borne by the student. So if a student is paying for full education, this is a new phenomenon which they call it a self-funding institution. In India, this has been a very, and that some people also privatization of universities and the institutions also come up. In India, self-funding institutions have gone, some fully private funded universities are also being, private universities are also being constituted under the state acts, and you find that this is taken. In Australia also privatization of universities took place, and this new phenomena has come. Australia, in fact, shares were floated in the market, and it became a company kind of thing. Similarly, many students have started going abroad. That's another phenomenon which has come. Earlier, the only few selected people used to go on exchange program, other thing, but the choice subjects were not being made available. Expansion in higher education has not taken place in India. As a result, you find many students have started going abroad. That has been another phenomena, and you find various countries have benefited out of this possibility. Many countries started marketing the program in developing countries, including India. You would find that several arrangements have been made in India by developed countries like UK, USA, Australia, and other countries, and they are every day hold the educational mela, and through that they recruit the students. So students are recruited, they go for studies abroad. So that is why you find USA has been marketing, and many other countries have marketing. There are economic forces which enables them to do it, and you will find that marketing of education is taking place in India and many developed countries. In India, as many as you would find 22 out of 60 universities are marketing their program in India. Australia, 37 out of the 41 universities are marketing their program in India. New Zealand, 17 out of 8 universities are marketing program in India. That is how things are going in. Recently, visa relaxation has been also given for the students going to USA, and that has been a development. Now, foreign students are also, you find the statistics of foreign students when you look at the 12% of the students studying in USA are from India. The concept of export of education has also come up, and through that many universities and the countries are exporting higher education. USA is exporting higher education. We are also having students going abroad, so we are remitting almost $3 billion on account of students studying abroad. Similarly, many other countries are benefiting out of many other countries going to these 3 developed countries, USA, UK, Australia, where the education has been provided, and you see the figure here. That is what the development has taken place. Now, only one thing I would like to, twinning arrangement where the local universities also join the international universities, and some tuning arrangements are taking place, and that tuning arrangements are large in number. I was told that the USA has 81 here, and UK has 21 tuning arrangements, Australia has 2 tuning arrangements, and that is what one is trying to do it. The foreign student in India has declined. That is another phenomena which is a matter of concern for us, and certain economic forces are making that education should be made a target trade, and that's why WTO and all these issues are there, which we discussed earlier. I need not repeat on this aspect. Now, forces of liberalizations are there, that we should liberalize, open up the education system, because there is a lot of opportunity for making the people to go abroad, as well as foreign universities coming in India, and there is a lot of resources. As already said, export-import figure has already shown to you that there is economic forces which are enabling things to happen, and that's why many people are demanding liberalization of education and allowing campuses to be opened in the developing countries by the developed country.